A mother hires a rodent pest insect and flea poisoner to poison life and murder rats and insects. She hires doctors to prescribing what is titled as medicine and which is supposedly engineered from plants. The poisoner of rodents, insects, rats, and animals says the rats become thirsty once they swallowed the poison, and there were dead rats in the pool. The rodent, rat, insect, animal murderer says they look for rat water after swallowing the poison, that they become thirsty. My grandmother notices that I drink a lot of water and liquids. I swallow a medicine called liquid respirone and chew a white pill called Fanapt, and I drink a lot of liquids and water. Is it poison or medicine? Is healthcare actually searching for cures, or are they using the disguise of treating illness and prescribing medicines to those who are ill for their health benefits? Or are they really performing murderous type activities? To argue healthcare side, if the medicines are really made from plants, it may be that the plants know what's happening to the animals, and the cheese I ate caused me to vomit because the animal that provided the milk for the cheese was harmed. And the plant medicine knows it and the cheese caused me to vomit through the knowing of the plant medicine telepathy. If there are poisonous plants and the medicine really is poison, are there poisonous plants that telepathically know what the person prescribed to the medicine ate? Or are the plants simply mutilated plants that were used for its cells when really we could just search for the proper medicine from what the plant produces and reproduces? Maybe that's where the awful karma lies. That healthcare is using the plants, but not using what the plants provide, what they can produce and reproduce, but just mutilating the plant, just like using the plant, not well. Using the plant would be using the plant for what it produces and reproduces, but I think if they're using the plants like using it's like I don't know, I'm not sure because as long as the plant doesn't die, the plant's not dead. As long as the plant isn't killed from the use of using the medicine. But if it's hurt, if the plant's being hurt for these type of medicines, then that's obviously not the proper medicine. So if the plant's being hurt, then obviously the pharmaceuticals aren't the proper medicine. So maybe there's a better medicine than the pharmaceuticals, because unless the plant knows that it's for the good of people, and that the medicine from the plant would actually like improve people's thoughts and improve people's consciousness and improve people's minds, and the plant, like just like basically doesn't feel any pain because it's a plant, then maybe the pharmaceuticals are okay. I'm not sure though, but okay, I think it might be the pharmaceuticals might be okay. They might be okay to use. They might they might improve people's thoughts and improve people's minds. So this is all speculation, anyways. But I think there's some facts here. And therefore, does the poisonous plant medicine cause the person to vomit the immoral substance such as cheese or milk or any animal produced substance to warn the person prescribed the poisonous plant medicine that those are forbidden fruits? Those are forbidden foods. But what about the rats, insects, and animals being poisoned and murdered by the rodent pest person who poisons and kills the rats, insects who are animals? Were those rats and insects guilty of an unlawful appetite? Well, what do ants eat? What do rats eat? Would it not make sense to simply feed these animals something lawful, such as bread, rather than poison the animals? Or maybe come up with a technology that could relocate the animals to a proper environment where they'd be happy, and where, or maybe people could just, get over their phobias of rats and animals and respect them for being rats and animals, and we could all live in harmony. But again, with the pharmaceuticals, a lot of people have died from the pharmaceuticals. Supposedly, a lot of people die all the time from the pharmaceuticals. But why they're dying, it might not be because of the pharmaceuticals. It might be because they're using meat and dairy. If they're using meat and dairy, the pharmaceutical would would just not complement their consciousness or their physical. I think that's under speculation. I think if if the person is eating meat and dairy and they're using pharmaceuticals, you know, that's probably gonna make the person sick. So, but if the person eliminates meat and dairy from their diet and they use pharmaceuticals, the pharmaceutical might actually do some good for them. It might actually improve their memory, improve their mentality, improve physical their physical bodies, improve all aspects of their lives, improves their spirit and everything. But again, I'm not sure how the pharmaceuticals are made. I'm not sure what's in the pharmaceuticals. I've read some of the names. I know the Resperdone has aspartame and gelatin in it. Gelatin is an animal product, and aspartame, I met someone who said not to drink any diet soda. I met someone else that said not to drink any aspartame. So, you know, these ingredients might not be as beneficial or they might not be beneficial or healing as they might be advertising it as. So I think we need to find we need to either ban pharmaceuticals with these um, with these poisonous ingredients, and find something that's healing, like maybe herbs, like basically what the plant can produce and reproduce. I think there's definitely plants out there that are very healing, and what they produce and reproduce could heal us and heal us all. I think maybe the pharmaceuticals might be wrong, because obviously a lot of people are dying a year from the pharmaceuticals, and it might be because they're eating meat and dairy and they're just too stubborn to like appreciate the pharmaceutical for its healing. But I'm sure if healthcare is actually trying to improve people's lives and heal people, then you know they just need to like tell us what the ingredients are, and not just give us these names that we don't understand, but explain the names of the ingredients. Because from the Resperdone that I've seen, there's gelatin in it, and there's aspartame. And from what I heard, the aspartame is no good. That's a bad ingredient. And also, the gelatin goes against my beliefs, and it's also very disrespectful towards animals because it's an animal product, you know. But since I've been using the Resperdone in the fan apps, uh, my memory has improved, and I remember the vegetarians and vegans that I had met, and I remember not to eat any meat or dairy, and I was eating dairy for a while on a couple of doses of the psychotropic medicine, but basically and then I went to one dose and I was able to practice veganism. So it has improved my memory, and it has improved my appetite. I don't mean that it makes me eat more. I mean that it's made me choose a proper appetite, an appropriate appetite, an innocent appetite, which promotes clean karma and a clean conscience, which is practicing veganism. But at the same time, I think that you know, I haven't been very active. I haven't been very active physically. I think the medicine makes me more mental, and like I think a lot, and I have to think, and I have to write, and I have to observe everything, and I have to make sense of things, and I have to try to figure out this and figure out that, and I guess it kind of improves my my cognition, improves my consciousness. But yeah, back to the animals. Is there prejudice against rats and insects that humans such as those who call for rodent pests and insects who are animals, a poisoner whom is given paper income, which is from murdered trees to poison these animals? Then is there prejudice within healthcare that those chosen and those targeted are the given proper care, are disguisedly healing others, but actually prescribing poisons so as to murder those who are discriminated against? Again, that goes back to what I was saying about. I think the pharmaceuticals, they're made from plants, If they're made from plants, then obviously they're not that bad. But if the person is eating meat and dairy, then the pharmaceutical is not going to complement that person very well, I think, because that's a big thing. If you're going to use pharmaceuticals, they'll help you out, they'll make you feel better, but you know, for me, it made me feel better mentally, and I have done some physical activities as well. It's just that I don't really I don't really go out as much right now because I don't have a car. And basically, what I think, if you're gonna use pharmaceuticals, and if the people are gonna I don't know, I think the people need to know too. Like maybe they need to know, but I'm not sure because there's so much this, or maybe no one knows this information. But I guess they'll learn now. So yeah, I guess if the person, whoever listens to this will learn. So I guess if the person is going to be prescribed pharmaceuticals, they should be told not to eat any meat or any dairy, and then the pharmaceutical will help them out. Because if you do use pharmaceuticals, don't eat meat and don't eat dairy, because that's what will make you sick. I mean, I've been sick. I've been sick just like that, and I think that if anyone's gonna prescribe anyone pharmaceuticals, they gotta tell them, look, no meat, no dairy. That's your new diet, because regardless of the meat and dairy, this and that, the meat and dairy is no good for you anyways. But the pharmaceutical might actually be good for you. So if the pharmaceutical is good for you, but you're using something that's not good for you, that those compounds might conflict, and that's how people become sick. Is it that those whom are being healed learn to eat healthier, and those who are being killed are those who die eating immoral forbidden foods? Are the medicines really produced from plants? And do the plant medicines defend the animals, or telepathically try to teach the human or earthling a lawful appetite? Do those who refuse to practice veganism die from the poisonous plant medicine whom is defending animal life? Do those who become sick from eating unlawful forbidden foods such as animal products? Is the medicine their second, third, fourth, or fifth chance to heal themselves through the recommendation of the doctor to drink liquids, choose vegetation over meat, choose fruits over dairy, choose bread over milk? It also provides the food pyramid statistics to educate those of the effects of types of foods. Does the plant medicine also telepathically, through the physical effects of its substance, warn the individual through vomit to practice veganism? Or is healthcare the defining force behind the New Age Holocaust? And is it America? Or is it terrorist foreigners that, like Troy, the theatrical film with Brad Pitt, who is the actor playing Achilles, use the Trojan horse theory to enter the country and murder Americans, or those discriminated against racially or personally by prescribing medications which are disguised as medications but that are actually poisons to those they consider an enemy? Well, whether they consider them enemies or not, if they use the pharmaceuticals, all they have to know is not to eat any meat and not to eat any dairy. And if there are gelatin or something that's not right in the pharmaceutical, like for me, I have a problem with there being gelatin, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that, like if I could go without eating meat and without eating dairy, I could go without the gelatin. And I heard the aspartame is poisonous, is bad. So if I can go without the meat and without the dairy, I can go without the aspartame. I think that if healthcare is going to use ingredients for the pharmaceuticals, then basically they need to provide information, not just the name of that ingredient, because the name is just something I've never even heard before, but describe that ingredient so that we know, what the ingredient is and if it's beneficial or not. So I think that we definitely do need serums to practice veganism, because I mean we need to definitely respect life on Earth and respect life within the universe. So I think maybe this is a rough draft or something. Maybe they're trying to come up with serums that would improve life on Earth, improve the universe. But I think that they should explain the ingredients of the medicine, and if it seems like it's a poison, then like because sometimes there's poisons, but like if like I saw this documentary, and there was like this thing called mercury, I think, and the uh the medicine doctor, he he uh he has this he has this kind of like method of making the mercury non-poisonous. So it's a poisonous substance, but he has this method so that the poison actually becomes like a like a like a healing substance, like a medicine. The poison actually becomes a medicine. He has this method to turn the poison into medicine. And I think that maybe healthcare either has learned how to turn poisons into medicines, or needs to learn how to turn poisons into medicines, or needs to explain that honestly, kindly and respectfully, that if it comes from plants, and some plants are poisonous, but they need to explain the process of you know the method to making the poisonous ingredient from the plant into a medicine, because you know the person from the documentary used the mercury, or I think it was mercury, and it was poisonous, but he had this method to make it non-poisonous, and he consumed it, and he let someone else consume it, and they were okay. They actually felt better, like it was a medicine. So I think that healthcare needs to like explain themselves and explain those type of things. Is it that I prefer white women over other races of women, that I am a target of these individuals of foreign relation? Is a relation a history that America is similar to the land of Troy and the rest of the world represents Greece? Were the Indians the first Trojans? I've seen the look on the female doctor's face while she were conversing with an individual. Her look was as if she knew she were being betrayed. Part of her seemed to want to murder the individual she were conversing with, and or defend herself. And the people she were prescribing medicines to or defend herself from the aggression of this individual, which may have been mistaken for aggression, but may have really been desperate needfulness and defensive protective awareness. Another part of her looks as if she were accused that she were accused, and that her true intention really was to heal those she were prescribing medicines to. Maybe the part of her that looks as if she wanted to murder those who she were prescribing medicine to was a part of the molding accusation she were being accused of. I told Glenn that the praying mantis should not be hurting other insects. The praying mantis should find other peaceful ways to protect the plant. I'm attracted to the new doctor, and she has a tan. Maybe it's not that I prefer white women over those of a tan. Maybe it's that at a span of my teenage life, there were an abundant amount of white women and white girls over the amount of tan women in that city I was living in, whilst I am living there as a teenager. I don't think there's one innocent living creature of any species here on Earth. If there is, it's probably the plants and the trees, the hummingbirds and the bees. But if they're innocent, it may be through evolution. There's other species that show potential to evolve. I think we're all innocent. I think we're basically just we're born in a certain part of the world, and there's a language that has information, and then those beliefs, whether they're wrong or right, or whether they're flawed or perfected, sometimes those beliefs could actually do more harm than good. But when the belief is functional and it's appropriate, and it's the proper belief, it could do a lot of good, and it could create a lot of happiness. So I think that we're all innocent. We're just born into certain parts of the world, and we learn a language, and we're just trying to learn the language, and some of us know the language better than others. Some of us need to learn how to use the language more appropriately, and some of us need to learn the language better, and then we need to like assess our thoughts and assess our beliefs and try to like be innocent and just learn the proper things and just respect all life on earth and appreciate the substances which are appropriate to use, which don't harm animals and don't harm any race of humans or any species of animal or any aliens or ghosts or anything. And just like I think what the proper I know what the proper thing to use is. It's what the plant and tree could produce and reproduce. That's what we're meant to use as our substances. This other stuff is just it's just wrong. It's all wrong. So we need to do the right thing. If the ice age was caused by a meteorite and dinosaurs went extinct because of the meteorite's collision, is it possible that humanity came from atoms and molecules of the meteorite? I think all life on Earth came from alien meteorite molecules. I think that Earth was just another planet like Mercury or Mars or Venus or those planets, and an asteroid came to Earth, and that's how life began because of the molecules from the asteroid. I think that if a if a meteorite went to another planet, there'd be life on that planet too. Dear Alexandra, I came up with a reason in my downfall within our relationship. I've seen a film when I was in middle school, which within a segment of that film, it details the theory that love, romantic love, drives people insane. People go crazy when they fall in love. I became the Green Goblin or the Joker for a moment. It didn't help seeing those films. At least maybe you weren't compassionate enough, or didn't understand that I was impersonating actors playing characters from films, and that I was affected by the film I've seen in seventh grade when they said that people go crazy when they fall in love. Villainary, Villainry and heroism is not the answer to humanity, the world, or the universe. It is a concept. With when vengeance and prejudice is involved within this concept, it is destructive. If Osama bin Laden is a villain and the Americans are heroes, it doesn't make it right to murder someone. And if Americans are heroes, I'm sure the Japanese could argue that America, Albert Einstein, and the scientists that developed the atomic bomb are villains. So people that see themselves are a group of people as heroes to a group of other people who see themselves as heroes may see another group as villains who see themselves as heroes. I think there is a villain within every hero. It could be argued that to a person who practices veganism, the people who eat species of animals as villains. These are some of the hero-villain concepts. But what if there are no heroes and are no villains? What if we are all just the product of information, influence, force, habit, experience, belief, and choice? Okay, so for example, a person who practices veganism believes in practicing veganism, and many people practicing or not may agree with this belief. But when a person that practices veganism sees a person who doesn't practice veganism as a villain, conflict is created, and conflict may not be a solution. A person who doesn't practice veganism is usually the product of choice, and usually this choice was made for the person. For instance, the mother of the child whom was fed meats and animal products while she was in the womb of her mother might think it's okay to consume animal products while her child is in her womb. So there is a cycle, and the cycle is based on experience and influence. The mother was influenced by her mother, and the child of the mother is influenced by her. Because of the choice of the mother, are because of the choice of the father who provided the meats and dairy to the mother. So this is where the hero practicing veganism who may see the mother as a villain and the child who had no choice to consume animal products as a potential villain or villain, the hero needs to understand the cycle, which it may not be the person who is the villain, but the cycle. The cycle of mothers choosing animal products to feed their children, our father providing meats and dairy to the mother which feed their children. The hero who practices veganism, if not controlled by the conflict of this devastating cycle, may learn that this cycle needs purification, cleansing. We as humanity need to cleanse our cycles, purify our cycles, cleanse our cycles. By purify, I mean we need to choose more virtuous choices. By purify, I mean cleanse. which virtuously considers every species of life. The hero-villain concept could be a virtuous concept, when virtuously considering virtuous empathy, and choosing not to be controlled by prejudice and vengeance. Prejudice and vengeance are cycles, which virtuously could be virtuously cured through virtuous empathy and virtuous morals, and virtuous logic and virtuous respect, and virtuous compassion. It says in the Bible, "Thou shalt not kill." We can learn this concept by first learning a virtuous appetite. That I believe is the first step to a better, safer, peaceful, and virtuous world. Hello, peaceful healing from close areas to through distant areas.